Hey, got a new vlog for you. I just wanted to make this video about the Switch 1 because the Switch 2 is coming out here, the Nintendo Direct is coming out here soon for the Switch 2, so can't wait to be there and just hear what all is going to happen. Really excited for the new games. This year has been very good with games that came out towards like the end quarter of last year. Great games. So I'm this year is looking very, very good for games. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's talk about the Switch 1. Me and my wife have our own Switches. Me and my wife were sharing one, but I'll get to that here in just a minute. So, when the Switch came out, I didn't really hear much about it. I wasn't really much in the know about it. And whenever I did find out about it, I was like, that's stupid. Like, why would I want that? Like, it looks so uncomfortable to play. Like, why are the joysticks, like, up here and down here? And like that's because I was used to like having like a standard controller, and that just looked like it was like way too uncomfortable. But yeah, this is a point in my life where I wasn't really gaming all too much. In my opinion, there wasn't really anything to play that I liked. I'm sure there was like plenty of stuff that was like good, but nothing I was really interested in. And I didn't really have a gaming console with me. The last console I played was the original VCR Xbox One. I'm hoping the logo on my shirt isn't going to dox where I work, but I think the seatbelt is doing a pretty good job. So yeah, I played, the last console I played was the Xbox One, and even then I still played like the 360 because the 360 is amazing. I still have my original 360, and I opened it up, cleaned it up, put some new thermal paste on it, brand new. Which I'll be playing that maybe here one day here soon. Anyways, so whenever I finally did hear about the Switch, I was like, I wouldn't want that. Like, there's no games for it. Because I think at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, but at the time, there wasn't really much of anything. There was, like, nothing. So, then it got to a point where I was like, okay, well, there's, like, a few things I might play. But I'll just get, like, the Switch Lite, because it's cheaper, and I'll probably just play this thing a little bit, and then I probably won't touch it again. And this was like peak COVID, no Nintendo Switch consoles anywhere. I was even on vacation somewhere, and I begged my mom to take me to a GameStop, and she did, and they didn't have one. And the guy was like, yeah, we don't have any Switch consoles, but I can order you one, and maybe it'll come in one day soon. And so then I was just kind of like sitting there thinking, and my mom was like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to try to look for a Switch at another GameStop, or do you want to order it and it'll ship to the house? And so I was like, yeah, let's just go to another GameStop. And the guy was like, like, he gave that, like, smug little, like, nerdy laugh. And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, good luck doing that. No GameStop has a Switch console around here. And I was like, alright, dude, whatever. So, yeah, weird guy. I'm sure he quit after 2 weeks of working there. So, anyways, try not to be mean. But anyways, so, I didn't really bother about getting a Switch for years at that point, and it wasn't until a few years ago I got, well, my wife, she had a Switch Lite, but she didn't really play it too much. I didn't play it because there wasn't really much of anything I wanted to really play immediately. So she didn't really play it, and she ended up giving it away because she was going to upgrade to a regular, like a Switch. I want to say this was like before they did the OLED model. So yeah, she got a Switch, and that was cool, and I don't know if we played it really, and it wasn't until we got Pokemon Sword, because I was getting back into playing Pokemon on the original Game Boy, and so I got really into playing Pokemon. So then we were like, alright, well what Pokemon games are on the Switch? So we saw that there was Pokemon Sword and Shield, and so we're, alright, yeah, we'll go to GameStop or one of our local game stores and pick out a copy if they have one. So we went to the store, and we saw Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, and I was like, ooh, what are we gonna get? And she was like, alright, well, which one looks cooler? And I was like, I don't know, they both look pretty cool. Swords are pretty cool, so let's get a sword, or let's get Pokemon Sword. So we got that, and we played the crap out of it. We were fighting over the Switch to play Pokemon. And I just want to say this really quick. I don't care what people say. The Pokemon games on the Switch aren't bad. They really aren't bad. Of course, it follows the same formula. Like I don't give them fault for that. It's like, what really more could you do? Which I'm sure there's like plenty of things you can do. I just can't really think of it off the top of my head. So, yeah, we played the Switch a lot, and then we both beat Pokemon Sword, and so now I was just collecting Pokemon at that point. And I was like, well, all right, what other games are there to play? And so I was like playing a few games here and there, and we were borrowing some from people, and there was one game that we had, I don't know whose it is, but it's one of our family members, and it was Link's Awakening, the remake, obviously. I absolutely loved the remake of Link's Awakening. That was such a great game. I could not put down my Switch. Any moment I could, like as soon as I would get home from work or I had some downtime, I would pick up that Switch and I was playing Link's Awakening. So yeah, I played the crap out of that, and some other games, and I didn't play Breath of the Wild till a little later, because then at that point I was like, alright, well, I'm going to try to play every Zelda game. Well, every mainline Zelda game. So yeah, I was playing some games, and then I was like, you know what if I do a little, something Nintendo wouldn't like? And so then I did that, and so I started playing even more games, because Switch games are so expensive. Of course, I still buy Switch games if they're like at a good price, or I just have the money at the time, or just something that I really like and wanting to play. Like for instance, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, Super Mario RPG, both incredible games. So then yeah, I played Breath of the Wild. That was an incredible game. I wasn't going to play Breath of the Wild until I played every mainline Zelda game before then, and I was doing that. I got a good bit of Zelda games under my belt. I'm currently playing Skyward Sword. I was playing it for the Wii, but I don't know, I just kind of fell out of it, and this is something I'll just say real quick. So I was playing it on my Wii U, obviously backwards compatible, and my TV goes out, and I was like, what happened? Did did my game just like stop, or the Wii freaked out, or what happened? So I figured out that the LEDs in my TV burned out or something. So I opened it up, replaced the LEDs, and got my TV back brand new. So there was a period of time where I wasn't really playing Skyward Sword. I didn't really get far into it. I got into like the first dungeon maybe. But now I'm replaying it, and I'm going to try to stick with it and beat it. So far, it's okay. I think I remember back then when that game came out, it was really popular. Everybody was talking about Skyward Sword. But I'm playing it, and I'm just like, I mean, it's alright, but it's nothing to write home about. I'm sure, like, and of course they're trying to do like something quirky with the whole trying to slash your sword in certain angles. So I'm sure like that mechanic in mind was like really cool, like cutting edge, like so realistic. But I don't know, it just didn't work for me. And of course, you're playing it on the Switch. You can use the control stick, but it's kind of weird. So I'll switch back and forth from actually like swinging around the Joy-Con or using the control stick. But yeah, it's not an attractive. Well, okay, no, I'll take that back. The game is attractive. I like the art style, like of the background and everything, like that paint looking art style. But the characters are so ugly. They look terrible. I hate it so much. Like, it looks like the game is trying to be like Twilight Princess, but the cartooniness of Wind Waker, and they try to collide that, and I don't know, just, I didn't really like it, like, other than, like, the background looks pretty cool. I don't really care for, like, Link's style, like his facial features, like the colors of it and everything. I don't know. It didn't work for me. But yeah, back to the first Switch. Yeah, so currently playing it. Super excited for the Switch 2. Can't wait to see what games come out. So yeah, I went from not liking the Switch at all, thinking it was so super stupid, to I can't put it down. And now I'm super excited for the Switch 2. So yeah, that's about it. Don't forget your Switch 1. Always keep it in memory. And heck, you might even go over to the Switch 2. You might keep your Switch 1. I'm sure they'll still support the Switch 1 for like a good few years. I feel like they would, because the PlayStation 5 came out and there are still so many people playing their PlayStation 4. Because it's like, well, it still works. I'm not going to upgrade to the PS5 until this one quits. But yeah, that's about it.